Hey friends, imagine sending your top premier to show Asian brotherhood, and the photo that comes out looks like he's reporting to his boss in a job interview. That's exactly what happened in Pyongyang, North Korea. North Korea's Kim Jong Un didn't just host China's Premier Li Qiang, he dominated him. And the image tells it all. One Kim, 10 Chinese officials lining up like students waiting for grades. Look closely at that now viral photo. On one side, Kim Jong Un, relaxed, sitting like a boss. Aside from him, Li Qiang and his entire delegation, straight backed, pens out, notebooks ready, like they're taking notes from their superior. This wasn't a meeting, it was a performance of hierarchy. The setup screams that North Korea's king is the examiner and China is the applicant. Even the table, absurdly wrong, curved to highlight the distance, frames king as the single point of power. You can almost hear him say, "So, Premier Li, tell me what China is prepared to offer this time as a concession." And Premier Li, he's nodding, smiling. It's the body language of somebody reporting up the chain. And then came this photo, the one that went viral across Asia. Kim Jong Un, hands shoved casually into his pockets, body angled with that, don't waste my time look. And Premier Li standing stiff and formal, hands neatly at his sides like a timid servant waiting for permission to speak. It is the posture of power and the posture of submission captured in one single frame. Kim didn't even have to say a word. His posture was the message that China may bankroll me, but hey, I'm independent. I'm the boss in this relationship. And the body language, it's savage. King leaned slightly back, dismissive. Premier Li stands still, deferential. You can freeze frame it and label it "How to Lose Face 101" in diplomatic situation. And just when you thought it couldn't get more awkward, it did. During the same trip, cameras caught Kim Jong Un chatting warmly with the Vietnamese leader. Big smiles, hand gestures, genuine warmth. It looked like two equals reconnecting. And standing right beside them, China's Premier Li Qiang, silent, stiff, and ignored. You could see the discomfort on his face. He wasn't even part of the conversation. He was just part of the furniture background. King and the Vietnamese leader, they laughed, exchanged nods, and had a pleasant conversation, while Premier Li stood there like a forgotten guest at somebody else's dinner party. That's not just awkward. That is diplomatic emasculation on camera. For Beijing, it's a diplomatic nightmare. North Korea and Vietnam, two little brothers China once dominated, now cozying up to each other, with China's own premier left out in the cold. It is a silent message to Beijing that your influence is fading and your allies are finding their own friends. Kim didn't just sideline Premier Li. He upstaged him using warmth as a weapon. Now, some of you might say, Ken, you're reading too much into this. Well, you know what? In East Asian diplomacy, optics are strategy. Every inch of body language matters. Who sits higher, who speaks first, who fills the center frame. That's the real script behind the script in East Asian politics. And that is why Kim turned the optics into art. Every photo screamed that China follows, North Korea leads. Even the long table setup was psychological warfare. One solitary Kim against an entire Chinese delegation. Yet he is the visual center of gravity. The rest looks like extras in the background of his movie. Trust me, it's not an accident this happened. North Korea planned it. And Beijing, desperate to keep North Korea close, had to play along and smile through the slap. And Kim executed flawlessly. He didn't need to shout that he is the boss in this relationship. He just sat alone, commanding a full delegation opposite him, like an emperor receiving the Chinese tribute. And even Chinese netizens noticed. On Twitter, X, they joked that it looks like the Chinese premier was giving a PowerPoint presentation to his boss. Except it wasn't a joke. It was the visual reality of China's new position. The so-called Big Brother now looking like the obedient intern. And Kim Jong Un understands one thing better than almost any world leader. And I think the free world should learn a thing or two from Kim. When it comes to dealing with CCP, humiliation is power. By controlling the optics, Kim made North Korea look independent, defiant, and even superior to China. And Beijing couldn't push back because it needs Pyongyang for buffer, for leverage, for cheap obedience. Except that obedience is gone. China came to assert leadership, and instead it got staged as the junior partner to North Korea. And while China's economy bleeds, its influence shrinking, Kim just seizes the moment to remind the world that I may be sanctioned, but I'm solvent. I'm not, a junior partner or just follow everything China tells me. He turns China's wealth into weakness. It's the geopolitical version of that moment when the intern corrects the CEO and the CEO just nods. And you know, those images, they will live forever in propaganda museums across Pyongyang. They're the trophy photos, prove that China bows to North Korea. And for Xi Jinping, this was a diplomatic nightmare dressed up as a friendship visit. His number 2 official looked like a student in detention. And the state media couldn't hide it. China's state TV, CCTV, ran the photo like it was normal protocol. But anyone who has seen how Beijing treats protocol knows this was humiliation, not hospitality. For Xi Jinping, this was more than a bad photo op. It was a symbolic demotion. The big brother of Asia walked into North Korea expecting respect and walked out looking like the help. And this moment tells you everything about where Asia's geopolitical power is heading. China is trying to look like the regional leader, the leader of the global south. But here's the truth. Even its smallest ally doesn't respect it or fear it anymore. Kim Jong Un turned the table, literally and symbolically. He turned what should have been a diplomatic handshake into a visual insult the world can't unsee. In Beijing, it's forced to smile and clap. But deep down, I think, she knows something terrifying. That the moment your clients stop fearing you is when they start mocking you. So next time Beijing brags about being the Middle Kingdom, the rise of China, its great rejuvenation, remember those images. The one where, the Middle Kingdom looked like the middle management. When North Korea's dictator looked like the CEO and China's premier, the number 2 guy, looked like the intern. So in this case, Kim Jong Un didn't just host China. He humiliated China, North Korean way, one photo op at a time.